Hello, my beautiful people. You're welcome to Naho Blessed Fashion. If you're new here, I am Blessing and you are highly welcome. Please do well to join this family, okay? Subscribe and turn on your notification bell. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for sticking around. I love you all. Guys, today we are going to be making this beautiful dress as you can see. And I want to use this medium to thank you all for your advice when I wanted giving up on YouTube. You guys are the best. I am back with full gear, like one of you said. All right, I love you all. Okay, guys, to start, we are going to start with a pattern drafting for the upper part. As you can see from the dress, there's a Basque waistline. All right, and it's an off-shoulder dress with darts. There's a waist dart, there's a chest dart. All right, there's a waist dart connected all the way to the chest. That's the bust dart at the upper part, and there's a straps attached to it, and the zipper is at the front. All right, the back is on fold, the zipper is at the front, and there is a 180-degree flare attached to the upper part. The flare is 180-degree flare. So we are going to start by drafting the front piece. So like I said, there's a zipper at the center front. All right, so I'm marking 1.5 inch for my zipper allowance. So I will connect this dots together like this to get a straight line. Okay, this is our zipper allowance. I'm going to fold it in just so it doesn't confuse my beginners. So I'm going to fold my zipper allowance inward because we are going to be starting our measurement from the second line. I don't want it to confuse you. All right. All right. So our zipper is folded inward. All right. So I'll take my vertical measurement. My bust point is 10 inches. All right. The bust point I'm using is 10 inches, on the bust 13, and then 16 inches for the waistline, but I'm going to make use of 17 inches for the sake of this dress. All right. I want the Basque effect to start from 17 inches. You can make use of your exact waistline, it's still fine. Then for the Basque effect, I'm going to come down with 8 inches from the waistline. 8 inches from the waistline. All right, so I'll mark that out. I'll take the same measurement here. 10 inch for the bust point, 13 on the bust, 17 for the waist. I'll go ahead and connect this dot together to get a straight line. All right. So for the back effect line, I don't necessarily have to do that because we're just gonna have something like this. All right. So next, I'm going to mark my neck width and neck depth. This is just for guide. We are not going to be using it, so we'll need the basic body measurement. So I marked 3 inches neck width and 3 inches neck depth. I'll connect them together. Like I said, we are not using this. Then the shoulder is 14 divided by 2. All right, that's 7 inches. And then I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. All right, our shoulder is not straight, so we need to give it a slope. I'll connect it to the neck width just like this. All right, I'm going to make sure I have the same 7 inches I have here. So I'll mark the same 7 inches here. All right, just to get a straight line. At that point, I'm going to mark my armhole depth, which is 7 inches. My shoulder divided by 2, or bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inch. All right, so I'll connect it to my shoulder slope just like this, and I'll create a straight line here, and this is my chest line. I'm going to divide what I have here by 2, and then I'll go in by 1/2 inch. All right, and then at the chest line, I'm going to mark my bust circumference. My bust circumference divided by 4. I'll connect these 3 points together just like this. All right, let's connect them nicely with your curve ruler. All right, this is my chest line, this is my bust line, my under bust line, and my waist line. All right. Okay. So I'm going to take my nipple to nipple measurement. That's my bust span divide by 2. All right. I just mark that out. Mine is 8 divided by 2 is 4 inches. All right. I'm just going to get a straight line just like this. You don't really need it at the chest line. You can just start and mark it at the bust line and the waistline. Next, I'm going to take my waist dart. I'm making use of 1 inch on both sides. I will explain this waist dart later. All right. I'll mark the same 1 inch on my under bust. All right. Then at the bust line, I'll come down by 1 inch. I don't want the dart to sit at my exact bust lines. That's why I came down by 1 inch. This is optional. All right. So for this 1 inch waist dart, it actually depends on your bust size. The bigger the bust, the bigger the darts you're going to take. The smaller the bust, the smaller the darts. So if you have a small bust, you can actually make use of 0.75 on each side, or even go as low as half inch on both sides. If you have a bigger bust, you can make use of 1 inch to 1.5 inch on both sides. I hope that is clear. All right. So I'm just going to connect this dots together. I'm going to connect the under bust and the waistline dart just like this. And I'm going to connect it to meet up with the 1 inch I came down with from the bust line, just like this. All right. Next, I'm going to divide my shoulder. That's why I said we needed this for guide. Divide my shoulder by 2. What I have here at the shoulder slant, I'm going to divide it by 2. All right. And then connect it all the way to the bust line, Guys, I'm so sorry. Somebody interrupts my camera. I've connected to the bust like I said. All right. And then next I'm going to, from the shoulder, I am going to come down by 6 inches. That is where my dress is going to start. That is the off shoulder. Okay. You can make use of 5 inches. You can make use of 5.5. You can even go down to 7 inches, depend on how you want it to be. If you go down to 8 inches, you may have your cleavage showing. So I'm making use of 6 inches. From the shoulder, I came down by 6 inches and I'll create a straight line. If you want a sweetheart neckline, you can give it a sweetheart neckline. All right. You can just give it a sweetheart neckline just like this. But from the style we are making is a straight line. Next, I'm going to mark the darts at the upper part. All right. I'm marking 1 inch, the same 1 inch we have at the waistline on both sides. All right. 1 inch on both sides. I'll connect it to the bust line just like this. All right. To the bust line. All right. So you make sure it's not sharp. Okay. Next, I'm going to take my bust circumference divide by 4. I already have that. I will add the that I have here. I'll replace it. The that you have at the same line, you replace it, and then I'm going to add my sewing allowance of 1.5 inch. All right. At the bust line, I'll maintain the same measurement. Okay, it's the same bust measurement that I have at the chest line. I'm just going to maintain the same measurement here. Okay, and at the under bust line, I will take my under bust measurement, divide by 4. I will replace the dart at the under bust line too. Make sure you replace it. That's 2 inches dart, and then I'll add my 1 inch for sewing allowance. Make sure you replace all your darts. The waist circumference to divide by 4. Mark that out. Replace the 2 inch dart and add my 1.5 inch sewing allowance. I hope this is clear. I'll connect the waist and the under bust just like this. It's the same measurement. I'll connect the chest and the bust line just like this, and the chest to the under bust just like this. Make sure this place is not too sharp. All right. We are going to cut out this dart before we extend our front piece to the back effect. All right. So I'm just going to cut out my pattern just like this. I'm going to add 1/2 inch at the upper part for for folding allowance. All right, we are going to turn it with a lining. So this 1/2 inch allowance is for us to be able to turn it with our lining without interrupting our main measurement. All right, so I'm cutting it at the 1/2 inch I added for the sewing allowance. All right, so I'll cut open the start just like this. Watch me carefully. All right, cut it open all the way to the chest. This chest that is going to help hold the chest area tight and bring out the curve for the bust. So it's very necessary. Make sure this place is not pointy. All right, if it's pointy, you're not gonna like it when you stitch it. So go ahead and extend it to our baxed. We want a baxed waistline. All right, so we'll go ahead and extend it. I'm going to gum it down from where we cut it earlier. I'm going to gum it down. Make sure everything align, the zipper allowance to align. All right, I will tape it down nicely. All right, bring the second piece, make sure you close the darts just like this. Okay, this is why we wanted to cut out that dart before getting the back effect. Okay, so I'll just gum it down just like this. So now we can cut the back effect. You have to do it this way, otherwise if you take your dart all the way to the back effect, it's not going to align. So I'll make sure I get my 8 inches extension from the waistline. Then I'm going to connect it. You can make it a V shape straight just like this. You can give it a little bit curve, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay, you can give it a little bit curve. You can make it V, just anyhow you want it to be is fine. I'll just cut it all the way to the waistline. Okay, so next I will extend this that line here. I'll just extend it. I'm just taking note of what I have there, which is 3 inches. I'll mark that here and extend the line just so I get a straight line. All right, and I'll cut it open. So this is our front pattern with our baxed waistline. All right, as you can see now, they align, and that is what we want. Okay, we'll move over to the back piece, which is very simple, and I'm going to rush it. So I'm just getting my bust point, my under bust, my waistline. I'm using the same 17 inches. All right, so I'm just repeating the same measurement we did to the front. I'll connect them together just like this with a straight line. All right, this place will be on fold. The center back is on fold. There's no zipper at the back. All right, and then I'm going to take my shoulder divide by 2, which is 7 inches, my neck depth 1.5 inch, neck width the same 3 inches, come down with 1 inch for the shoulder slope, connect to the neck width, and then connect this together just like this, the same thing we did to the front. All right, and this is our armhole depth. Connect it just like this. This is the chest line, the bust line, the under bust line, and the waist line. All right, I'll divide what I have here by 2 and then connect it with my bust measurement at the chest line. My bust circumference divide by 4. I'll connect these 2 together. This is how you get the back armhole. All right, it's not the same with the front one, if you can remember. I'll take the nipple to nipple measurement, that's the bust span, from the at the chest line and at the waistline. I'll connect them with a straight line just like this. All right. And then for the dart, I'm going to be making use of half inch on both sides. The back dart is half inch, and I use 1 inch for the front dart, if you can remember. I'll connect it all the way to the chest line, all the way to the chest line. All right. So we are going to close this dart. I don't want a dart stitch at the back. I'm going to mark my bust circumference divide by 4, and I'm going to add my sewing allowance. All right, of 1.5 inch, the same 1.5 inch sewing allowance. At the waistline, I'm going to mark my waist measurement divide by 4. I'll replace the dart I have to. All right, that's the 1 inch dart, and I'm going to add my sewing allowance of the same 1.5 inch, just the same thing we did to the front piece. Connect them together just like this. Okay, and then I want a little curve at the center back, so I'll come down by 1/2 inch to give it a little curve. I'll connect it to my bust measurement here. Make sure you connect it to the bust measurement, because the side is going to must align with the front side. All right, the back side must align with the front side. They are going to meet there, so they must align. So you connect it to the bust measurements you have there, just like this. Not the sewing allowance, the bust measurement. I'm going to add 1/2 inch for the sewing allowance to turn it with the lining. All right, so I'll just connect that and cut it out. I'll cut out my piece. As you can see, very simple. So this is our back piece. I'm going to close the dart. If you're following me very well, you know that I don't always like stitching that. So if I can have my way, I'm going to manipulate the dart. So I'm going to close the dart like this, slash open one of the dart leg and close it with my masking tape. I actually have a detailed dart manipulation tutorial in the channel. You can check it out. All right, so I'll close the dart. As you can see, we are not going to have any dart stitch for the back, but for the front we don't have any option. So the back piece will be cut on fold, one piece on fold, and then these two will be two piece each. All right, we are going to do all of that together, don't worry. So for the flay part, like I said, is a 180-degree flay. That's half cycle flay. I'm going to fold my fabric into two like this. Okay, I'm folding my fabric into two just like this. All right, and then at one end, as you can see, one end is on fold, one end is on fold here, as you can see, and one end is open. All right, I'm going to hold one of the ends this place just like this. I'm going to hold it like this and then fold the fabric like this. We want to have a triangle effect. All right, we fold it in a triangular form and then adjust it. I'm just going to adjust it very well. So that is how you fold for your 180-degree flay. All right, next I'm going to add 3 inches of zipper allowance to my waist measurement. My waist is 27 plus 3 inches zipper allowance is 30. I'm going to divide what I have by 3.14. I have 9.55. I'm going to approximate it to 9.6. All right, so from this point, from the edge just like this, I'm going to mark what I have all the way around. Okay, I'm marking the 0.6 inches all the way around from the edge just like this. Mark it all the way around. Guys, I'm so sorry, I think my camera is too far, so the chalk is not showing very well, but I'm just marking what I have. My waist measurement plus my zipper allowance and sewing allowance of 3 inches, divide by 3.14. what I marked all the way around, and I'm connecting the points together just like this. All right, to get a nice curve, you mark it all the way around and you connect it just like this. I'm very sorry the chalk is not too clear, please forgive me for that. All right, so I'm going to add half inch to join it to the upper part. We need allowance at the upper part to join it with the upper part. All right, you don't want to tamper with the measurements you have, so I'm going to add half inch at the upper part for our sewing allowance. We need allowance to join it to the upper part. I hope I'm not talking too much. I'm just going to connect it also just like this. Next, I'm going to mark my skirt length. All right, from the waistline. From the waistline, you mark your skirt length. All right, you can, excuse me, you can take the skirt length from your waist to where you want your dress to stop, or you can minus your half length from your full dress length. The remaining inches you have is your skirt length. You add 1 inch for hemming allowance. So my skirt length plus 1 inch sewing allowance is what I just marked. I'll connect it just like this too. The same thing we did to the waistline. I'll just connect the dots together. I am actually connecting them like this for you guys, so I didn't even know that my chalk is not clear enough. So I'll just go ahead and cut my waistline just like this. I'm cutting it on the half inch we added. Okay, and then I'm going to cut out um the length, the skirt length, just like this too. All right, so this is our 180-degree flay. This is half cycle flay. Okay, I'm going to confirm my waist measurements. You want to make sure you have your exact waist measurement. So I'm taking it round. As you can see, I have 15 inches. Multiply by 2 is 30, and that is what we want. Like I said, 27 plus 3 inches for zipper allowance. We are going to transfer the Basque waistline to the flay in our next video. All right, this video is too long already. We are going to divide it into two. So in the next video, we will sew everything together. All right, please subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you get notified when I upload the next video. Please help me like this video and drop a comment if you can't. That's your way of supporting me. It means so much to me, guys. I love to see your positive comments. If you have any question, also drop it in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching to this point. I will see you all in my next video. Stay blessed. Bye.